All right, folks, we've hit the home stretch. Our final portion of teams to preview here on the Delmarva Sports Insider Coaches Conference in Delaware, the Henlopen South. Remember, Milford relocating to the Henlopen North this year. So we'll start out with Indian River. 3 wins in 2018 compared to just 1 in 2017. A good group of players returned for IR, including TJ Moore on defense and all Henlopen selection. It will be a test this year for head coach Philip Townsend, but IR continues to build upon their fundamentals for the year ahead. Next up on our list, the Laurel Bulldogs. Laurel brings in a new head coach with some Salisbury ties as well. Johnny Jones with some of the top players gone from last year. Many new names and new faces for the Bulldogs this year. Like a majority of the small schools, many two-sided players, and with that new look, Henlopen South, Laurel, they have a chance to make a splash in that division. And keeping things going on Route 13, the Seaford Blue Jays. Seaford, another one of those South teams with a rough ending in 2018. So the question has to be who will step up. Raymond Brady, an all-conference selection in the backfield, is back for his junior season. So you could see some big minutes out of him. And like I said, with some of the teams in Maryland building confidence in games against similar strength opponents. And our final team of the South, the 5th squad, the Woodbridge Blue Raiders, the defending state champions in 2 titles in the last 3 years, but a lot of those names you remember and heard have moved on. So a new core in the works for first-year head coach Jed Bell. Now listen, no matter who you put on that field for Woodbridge, they're poised to fly, always a group waiting in the wings. And for more on that, we go back to the desk.
Joining us here on the desk, over 30 years of high school football coaching experience, and Jeff and I have 0, right? Woodbridge assistant coach Preston Graves. Coach, thank you so much for joining us one more time. We know you always love coming to the Coaches Conference. I, first of all, personally want to thank you for that. You're one of the coaches that I don't have to reach out for the Coaches Conference. You reach out to me and say, hey, when is this thing going down? Coach, thank you so much. I just want to get straight into it, Coach. Are we looking at a repeat or what, man?
You know, the boys are very hungry. I mean, we always talk about get that bling.
Yeah.
Such as right
there
here.
It is.
and the thing is, you know, hard work and all that comes into play. I mean, when you win 2 championships in 3 years, it's a culture.
Yeah.
And you know, winning culture breeds everything. So
yep.
I believe that.
Now, of course, you know, the team familiar with new head coach Jed Bell, having served as an assistant, but how are the boys, how is the team transitioning, and how are they kind of feeling out Coach Bell now kind of under the role of head coach?
Right. I think what it is, we have a nucleus of good assistant coaches that's been there for a long time. So that's actually helping him transition from assistant coach to the head man. And Coach Bell is such a young, enthusiastic guy, and we're glad to have him.
Yeah, absolutely, Coach. One of the things that we were talking about in our office when we were doing you guys' breakdown is the feeder systems that seem to come through Woodbridge. When I was playing Pop Warner, the feeder system in Woodbridge was amazing. How good has that been for you guys? Because it seems like the kids that you all have been playing with each other for the last 8 to 10 years.
Absolutely. I mean, it all starts from the Pop Warner when these kids are age 5 on up, and they know each other, they stay at each other's houses, and it's just, when you talk about Woodbridge, Bridgeville area, it's such a small area, and everybody knows everybody. And it's just, like I said before, it's just a culture. And these kids just love being around each other.
Yeah.
Now, Coach, of course, you lost a tremendous senior class from a season ago. You know, you won a state championship with them. You won 2 state championships with them in the span of the 3 seasons. You mentioned it. So have there been individuals that have now stepped into a leadership role that have said, listen, I know we lost a lot of guys, but we're still here. We're still going to compete for another state championship?
Sure. I mean, we brought a couple guys here like Dalton, Trey, who else do I have over there? Connie and Tayshawn. I mean, those guys have been around forever. And as long as we have great guys like that, it's just, like I said, it's just culture. And one thing about this year, we have a motto. We're trying to dedicate this season to Troy Haynes.
Yeah.
He's one of our ex-players that was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And we always say fight like 4.
Yeah.
You know, if anything gets down, so.
Yeah, Coach, one of the things I was getting ready to say to close it out was obviously unfortunate news that we got with Troy when we first heard it. But how how awesome has it been to see this community, Bridgeville, Woodbridge, and even everywhere in Delaware, rally around Troy and fight like four?
It's just been a pleasure to see, not just around Bridgeville, not just Delaware. We can even talk about the pro aspects, like such as the NFL.
Philadelphia Eagles.
Philadelphia Eagles have reached out to this young man and just gave him a lot of love and support. So we're thankful.
Coach, before we go, can you put that bling up one more time?
Oh, absolutely.
My bling ain't like your bling, man. I like my bling, but this is a rock, man.
I'm tossing the break, so I'm going to wear that.
Yeah, you put it on.
I'm tossing the break. All right, time to take another break. But coming up, our team going to take a look at the Bayside South, Decatur, Washington, Bennett, all looking for a big season. Stay with us, the 2019 Coaches Conference. Trey, don't touch this.
No,
all right, we're coming right back.
It's Coach Jet Bell from Woodbridge High School, and you guys are watching Delmarva Sports Insider.